Alright folks, and welcome to the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City trailer reaction video. I am going to share my thoughts tonight with you about this film. And I have to say, first watching of the trailer, it doesn't look as cheap as I thought it was going to look. It actually looks like it's been fairly well made, and if not very well made. I mean, they're using the designs for the monsters out of the remake for RE2, the liquor, and I'm very happy to see that. It's kind of what we're wanting as Resident Evil fans, is to see things we actually fucking recognise, you know? Not the weird movie monsters from the Anderson verse where you had the liquor in the first movie but they called it a hunter. They never really had a tyrant in the entire fucking series. They had this giant liquor thing in like the fifth movie that laid fucking eggs, and I was like, what's going on, Doc? Motherfucker. Bugs Bunny hated it. Okay, there you go. So starting off, you see Claire getting into Raccoon City and meeting up with her brother Chris. Now right away that's a departure from the games, and it looks like Claire knows who Umbrella is and what they're all about, and I'm getting the feeling that she might be the main character. It was Alice last time, who didn't exist in the games. Now it looks like it might be Claire, because she knows what's going on, and Chris is like, don't be fucking stupid, Claire, but you some dafty or something. And she's like, no mate, fucking look at this video, and you get a guy with like really big front teeth. Sorry, I couldn't help but notice that. It's like fucking Roger Rabbit sitting there with a moustache. Sorry, that's pretty fucking mean, isn't it? So it looks like what'll happen in the film, or what I'm going to gauge is going to happen, is that she turns up, they have a wee set to about Umbrella. Chris tries to talk her into, talk her out of being such a fucking dafty, and then they get called to the mansion. So you've kind of got Resident Evil 1 and 2 happening at exactly the same time, which is just bizarre to me. It's a fine choice, it's an adaptation. I'm not actually entirely off doing things differently. I'm just observing how strange it looks compared to the game. Compared to the games, okay. I'm still not sold on how Leon looks and how Jill looks. That's going to be a point of contention for me forever. Just like when the first Resident Evil movie came out and it was nothing like the video games, I'm like, what is this? Not that I didn't enjoy the film, but it's always going to be in the back of your mind going, this isn't right in some capacity or another. So we'll just draw a line under it. I've said what I wanted to say about that casting choice for those characters, and I'm going to fucking knock it in the head because I'm sick of hearing myself talk about it. And we'll just talk about this trailer and what I think is going to be going on. The Cerberus looks great. The bit with the cop in the underground car park with that dog guy, I'm sold on that. That looks great. Looks nice and tense, and he's like fucking shooting this thing. Like, shoot its head, mate. I know shooting moving targets is hard enough, but to get a pinpoint headshot on a moving dog, which can move faster than most of us can blink, I think that'd be a nigh on impossible task. Why is it zombie animals don't stoat around like fucking dafties, but humans do? Why do the animals just act normally? I don't understand that either. Could somebody maybe explain that to me? Not that there is any real explanation, but give me your hypothesis, okay? And you've got the bit where the petrol truck fucking crashes in front of Raccoon. Okay, that's slightly different, but it doesn't need to be exact. But I liked it. It looked really cool. Then you see it exploding, and then all the zombies burst through the gates. The RPDs. Hopefully we'll see a wee bit more of the outbreak in Raccoon City. Because I always sort of missed that. Even in the games, I thought, could we not get like a Resident Evil 1.5? I know there is a Resident Evil 1.5, but that was just a cancelled copy of Resident Evil 2. But is there no something we could gap? I know Resident Evil 3 is meant to do that, but it doesn't do it well enough for me. Not even in the original game. It doesn't show you the fucking outbreak. Every time you come into Raccoon City after the first game, the outbreak's already well underway. I want to see it from its inception. I want to see the slow build. I want to see the rats scurrying in the fucking streets. Why are the rats not enemies? That's another weird thing. I know I don't like rats and small things in games, but you'd think that would be like, there'd be some like giant mutated fucking rat somewhere that's eating all the other rats. Just a thought. And you see them entering the mansion, and I thought that the mansion looks great. It looks a wee bit smaller than what I would expect, but it does look thematically the same. and then you see a helicopter crash into it, so I'm wondering is Brad just bit the dust? What's going on? Because then you see a huge explosion, which I'm not really sure what's going on here. So obviously there's a helicopter crash into the mansion, because Jill shouts run. Then you see the helicopter blades come through the wall and the window. Then there's a big explosion. Is that the mansion blowing up? Have they just cleverly edited that to make it look the one thing? Or I don't know. Intrigue. See, this is good. We get intrigue. You don't know what's going to happen exactly. And I do actually quite enjoy that. Although I will say this, I do hope that the love triangle rumour between Chris, Jill and Wesker is fake. I hope that doesn't happen, because there's no need for soap opera shit. I know that Resident Evil is based on cheesy movies, but none of them have soap opera shit, okay? None of that crap. I don't want to have a fucking Coronation Street subplot in my Resident Evil movie. No, come on now. Stop that. No need. For all my American listeners, Coronation Street is a soap opera in the UK, and it's an absolute pile of shite. Moving on, and then you see a bit of Lisa Trevor, which she looks a fucking hell of a lot better in this movie than she did in those photos. Those photos, I'm going to say it, see the Leon and Claire photo, the Lisa Trevor photo did not do them justice whatsoever. Whatsoever. They look shite, okay? They just look like fucking student photos, crappy, fucking, well, that'll do, pish, one take, fucking done type things. Look a lot better in this film. Yeah. And then you've got the big Tyrant Birkin thing. I'm sure it's Birkin because it's covered in eyeballs. So I'm not sure, are we going to get a traditional Tyrant, or is that the big evil thing at the end? You see Birkin in it, who's played by, what's his fucking face? Something McDonough. I can't remember his fucking first name. He's been in a ton of things. He was in that fucking shite Street Fighter movie Legend of Chun-Li. He was also in Justified Series 3, I think it was. Brilliant programme. He's a good actor, so I was happy to see that he was involved, but I'll be fucked if I know his first name. And with him playing Birkin, we've got a slightly older Birkin from the games, although it is hard to tell in the original Resident Evil 2 because everybody kind of looks like they're made out of plasticine. So Clay, the like Morph from fucking, remember that Art Attack? No, Art Attack, at the moment Tony Hart. Again, the American listeners will know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's a wee claymation doll thing, right? So judging by the original Resident Evil 2, it's kind of hard to age any of the characters really. Even Claire's, she's meant to be 19, she looks about 45, give or take, and Leon just looks like an android. So I think there's a ginger genocide going on in Hollywood when they get fucking Leon with dark hair and a beard, an unkempt looking bonnet, as they would say over here, or barnet, another good one. I haven't heard that word for hair in a long fucking time. I think at the start of the trailer there was a part of like a roadblock before you see Claire coming in on her motorcycle. So I'm like, is that a part of the Outbreak? Are we going to see more of the Outbreak? I really do hope so. It's going to be a weird movie to watch. We're all going to have the games in the back of our mind. We're all going to have that. It's just unavoidable. I'm not going to try and let it sully the experience. I think it does look like a really good, fun movie to watch. Good sort of horror action popcorn flick that's not been made by Michael Bay, so it'll probably be actually good. For the most part, I like the casting, and it does look like they've put some decent amount of money into this. So we'll see where the franchise goes from here. I've heard that Code Veronica is going to be a sequel, but I'm kind of like, why? Well, I suppose why not, really. But you'd either have that or Resident Evil 4, or it could go off in its own way, but I think it'll follow the games a bit more than the original Anderson-verse movies did. They really only followed the games for the first two movies and then gave up and just went off in their own direction. That's why you had like a Mad Max, Resident Evil, then it went back to the cities again, and you just had little bits of things here and there from other Resident Evil games, like the Los Pelagas from Resident Evil 4 were there. The big axe guy from Resident Evil 5 was there just randomly. It just took bits and pieces for every other game in the franchise and never really stuck to any one game in particular. It was just a mashup, and then they just sort of weaved their own characters in and out, and Resident Evil characters. I would like to see Barry Burton in this movie. I think that's a bit of a disappointing omission. because he's quite integral to the first game, I would say, especially if you play as Jill. If you play as Jill, I don't think he appears in Chris's game. It's Rebecca that appears in Chris's game, but he's pretty fucking integral to that story, and to not have him is a bit... I'm not happy with that. I like Rebecca there and all, because, well, she's in the first game, so why is she not in this fucking movie? Well, no, we'll get Richard. At least he's there. I mean, he's in the game, but he's in the game for fucking less time than fucking Rebecca Chambers is in the bastarding game. He's only in it for like 2 scenes and then he dies. And if you play the original game, he just fucking snuffs it from his bite wound from big yawning bitch. Oh, choices are just weird to me, but that's just me. I wouldn't do the movie the way they're doing it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy this, and I think it'll be a good time. Might not necessarily go to the cinema to see it, but I'll definitely pick it up on Blu-ray because, well, I want it for the collection, and I've got every other Resident Evil movie on Blu-ray, so might as well continue with this one, and I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think of the trailer down below, and we'll see where this takes us in November. Interesting. Good night.